The Aggies, the Jazz, the high schools. If it's the sport you care about, we're talking about it. The Full Court Press on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM. The Fan.
Good afternoon, everybody. Eric Frandsen, Ajay, Salvesen. Thanks for tuning in, joining us on the Full Court Press. Here on 106.9 FM, 1390 AM, streaming online, 1069thefan.com. Ajay continues to be sequestered in an undisclosed location.
Hanging out with Reggie, my main man Monkey, Roxy, Wamby. Yeah, we're kicking it.
Hey, it was an interesting NFL weekend. We'll get into some of those things, but some of the interesting games that happened, but pretty good weekend for USU football players in the NFL. Ajay, Nevin Lawson led the Raiders in tackles. Kyler Fackrell had a pick six. Bobby Wagner, 14 tackles on Sunday Night Football with it really a critical fourth down stop against the Minnesota Vikings. So a good weekend for NFL, former Aggies in the NFL.
Yeah, that's awesome. Really, really awesome to see these former Aggies succeed the way they are, and the Fackrell pick six was awesome. Got to see highlights of that, which was really, really fun to see. So good for them, and again, more Aggies are on the way. Nevin Lawson, watching him play against Kansas City, was really good yesterday, especially against the loaded crop of receivers from Kansas City. I thought he held his own against them. Hey, by the way, just a quick update. Tampa Bay's up 4-1 here in the top of the ninth. Eric, bases are loaded with nobody out for the Houston Astros.
Uh-oh.
This is, and by the way, Mr. George Springer himself is up. In fact, he is just grounded into a 4-3 double play, a run does score, but now there's two out, 4-2 ball game with men on the corners first and third.
Ooh, juicy. So this game's not over yet by any means.
No. Yeah, no, but it's fun to see these Aggies. Have you seen the Fackrell pick six yet?
No, I haven't.
Oh, dude, you got to watch that, man. That thing is cool. Fackrell is just like in the right place at the right time. And credit to him, he's alert and awake, and makes a great play. And is able to take it back to the house. I wasn't sure he was going to make it back. I thought he was running out of gas. Ends up being able to score. I think he hit the pylon, is what they called. And ends up scoring it. So, yeah, that was pretty cool. That was really, really cool to see. And again, so good to see Nevin Lawson out there just dominating the way he is. He hasn't changed one bit. He's still the aggressive, physical, defensive back that we always remember at Utah State.
Yeah, fun to see him on a roster again. He had some injury issues that took him out of it a little bit. But he was back, and he played well. In fact, you know what, Ajay? We've been able to uncover through our resources here at the Cache Valley Media Group the audio from Kyler Fackrell's pick six, 46-yard touchdown return for the Giants yesterday.
Oh, sweet.
So it'll be 2nd and 8 for the Cowboys as Prescott works over center. Play fake to Elliott, back to throw. You just check it down to Elliott, intercepted by Fackrell. Went off the hands of Elliott. Fackrell down the right sideline. He's to the 20, 15, 10, breaks right to the 5, dives for the pylon. Is he in? Touchdown, Giants! Kyler Fackrell took the deflected ball and returned it for a Giant touchdown.
How cool is that?
That
awesome.
Gave me chills. That's awesome. I don't know how you guys found that, but that's awesome.
That is very cool. So that's from the play-by-play from WFAN.
That's cool. You guys found that.
Cowboys.
Jose Altuve just walked. So, and by the way, I said man on the corners. I was wrong. There's a man on third. Now there's men on the corners. Altuve again just walked on 4 straight pitches. So Nick Anderson again is in the jam with men on the corners here, top of the ninth, 2 out. And trying to close this thing out so the Rays can move up 2-0 in this best-of-7 series.
Ooh.
We need to get you a TV in there. I'm serious. I'm bringing a TV in, and we're gonna freaking take care of this problem because I ain't dealing with this.
Well, you've got all the TV you can handle right now in your undisclosed location.
Yeah, you could say that.
Coming up here in about less than 10 minutes, we're going to call out our bread and butter play of the game from the Skyview football broadcast on Friday. So stay tuned for that. Coming up, if you remember what it was, 435-752-1069 to call in and let us know what it was, and we'll make sure you get that 4 loaves of bread. By the way, we got a text from 9315. As a fan, you got to be careful what you do. They sure are overhyped, BYU. Now they are eating crow.
I wouldn't say they're eating crow. They're still undefeated. Now, granted, look, I'm not a BYU fan at all, but, I mean, and they haven't played the hottest of schedules. This Houston team's going to we're going to find out how good BYU is. I know Houston hasn't played a whole lot, one game, really, to be specific, but they're pretty darn good. They got an offense that can lock and load and get going really quickly if you're not careful. This is going to be a challenge for BYU. And again, it just takes, for BYU, Eric, it takes one loss to shut the national championship talk up. One loss. That's all it takes.
Yeah, it'll come. And it may come as quickly as Friday.
Yeah, and if it doesn't come Friday, I've got Boise State. At Boise State, by the way, I got Boise State winning that one in a walkway. There's no way. I think Boise State's so talented on both sides of the ball, and especially on the defensive side of the ball, where they're going to give Zach Wilson a lot of trouble. I don't see BYU getting out of there with a win.
You know what's curious about Boise State? In the AP Top 25 college football poll, Boise State's not getting any votes. Air Force is getting 11. They're the only team from the Mountain West receiving any attention. By the way, Houston is getting 5, BYU's next opponent. But in the coaches poll, it's a very different story. Boise State is getting 36 votes. Air Force is getting 13. And Houston is getting 7. So it's a very different story in the coaches and the AP. Of course, there's a lot of teams who haven't played a game yet, and they're still in the top 10. So there's a lot of silliness going on with the way polls work this year. Different than normal.
Yeah, that's always fun. Again, you have teams in there who haven't even played a game yet. Another quick update for you. Nick Anderson has now thrown 8 straight balls and has walked the bases loaded. So here we are with the bases loaded, and we got a deep ball to right center. It's going to be caught, and that will do it. Tampa Bay's going to win this game. They're going to go up 2-0 in the series.
Ooh,
now, Game 3, a huge bullet. Game 3 comes up in 2 days, I believe, Eric, if I'm not mistaken. Do they have a day off tomorrow, or do they got to play 3 straight days?
So they do play tomorrow.
Jeez.
Yeah, there are no travel days, so that's what's so tricky about how you manage your bullpen and your pitching staff. There are no travel days. There are very few rest days. Wow.
So again, your final score: Tampa Bay 4, Houston 2. Even though Houston out-hit Tampa Bay 10-4, they had those 2 errors. One of them came back to cost them. Then they had that first inning where they probably should have had 3 runs, should have Houston, and couldn't cash in. So, again, Houston now down 2-0 in this series. Boy, I didn't see this coming, I'm not going to lie to you.
Houston had 10 hits in this game and only could manage 2 runs out of it. By contrast, Tampa had 4 hits and 4 runs. But they've also played error-free, so that helped them.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it's more just clutch hitting, right? It's about when to get those hits. And by the way, the defense for Tampa Bay was absolutely spectacular. The third baseman, I don't even know who the frick the third baseman is. He made
Wendell?
4 plays. Wendell, thank you. Made 4 plays of diving to his left and snagging a ball. He saved at least 3 runs. He saved at least 5 hits. And, man, that defense for the Rays has been sparkling. This playoffs thus far, it has been wonderful. Yeah, impressive win for Tampa Bay. This team is much better than I thought they were.
Yeah, well, like you said, that defense is what seems to stand out to me a lot with this Tampa team, and how well they're able to get to positions quickly, to keep guys on base or to prevent them from advancing, and even pick guys off. So that's a really fun team to watch. Tampa.
Yeah. And who's the guy who ran into the right field, the right field barrier and flipped over and made this spectacular, like Margot, I think it was, who made this spectacular catch in right field. I mean, he drilled that thing too. And he still came up with the ball. Just, I mean, an impressive defensive display the last 2 nights from the Tampa Bay Rays. And now, Eric, we go into our 3rd day of baseball coming up for both these teams. And it was Margot, by the way, who made that great play.
Yeah, but Margot had the big hit in the first inning to get things started.
That's right. I forgot about that. Good point.
Big home run.
And it's just, and now it's just, who has less fatigue and who can have more stamina, right? Especially in the bullpen. And if you ask me, I think the Rays are going to be okay in this regard. And they haven't had to use too much of the bullpen. They've been pretty smart with how they've used it. I know they were milked after the first series with the Yankees, but I think they've got, I think they kind of go back to the normal schedule. So should be good tomorrow. Again, can't wait for that one.
So that game has gone final. The Tampa Bay Rays lead the series 2-0. And then the Braves and Dodgers game 1 in that series is coming up in about a little less than an hour from now, a little after 6 o'clock on Fox. So and that should be a fun series too. You got 2 great offenses scoring off against each other, and just who's going to be able to produce enough offense, and which team's pitching staff is going to be able to try to limit some of that offense from the other team.
Yeah,
I think the Dodgers.
And then it's all about runners in scoring position.
What's that?
Yeah, and it's all about runners in scoring position as well, right? We've seen this, we saw in the Yankees-Rays series, we saw in the A's-Houston series, we saw in the Cubs-Marlins series, to be honest with you. Runners in scoring position. If you can't get key hits with, especially runners in scoring position, 2nd and 3rd, with no out, you should score both those guys. Runners in scoring position with 1 out, you should score one of those guys. Runners in scoring position with 2 out, you hope to get one that is a bonus. And the Houston Astros just have not been able to get that hit. Altuve was horrendous today. He was bad yesterday. The top of that order has been really bad. Something that they relied on a lot last year during their postseason run. It's going to have to get fixed soon, or else this team's going to get swept out of the playoffs and be done.
11 runners left on base for Houston today.
Holy cow, Eric.
Yesterday as well. They're just struggling to get guys through and all the way home. So if that doesn't get fixed, this could be a very short series for Tampa.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's the way Tampa would like it. Get as much rest as possible because we don't know how long this series with the Dodgers and Braves is going to go.
Yeah, it's true. Very true. And there are no rest days. So if you're any of these teams, you want to try to get through your series as quickly as possible to give your pitching staff a little bit of rest before the next series and the World Series begins.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, already the Rays up 2-0 in their series. Are
you surprised by that, Eric?
Not necessarily. I thought that the Rays would be the better team. So I think that the Rays will still win. I predicted that they would win going into it. So I don't know that I'm totally surprised that they're up 2-0. Maybe I'm a little surprised that Houston has left so many guys on base. I mean, it's been close. It's been a good series. I mean, each game has been close and dramatics down to the wire. So it's been a fun series so far.
Yeah, it has. Give me a prediction for Braves Dodgers. What did you have it in again?
I've got Dodgers in. I'm actually going to go Dodgers in 5.
Oh, jeez. Okay, calm down. I've got the Braves in 7.
Wow. Okay. This Dodgers team, I think they're on a mission. They're super deep. They have been there and they know the sour taste of getting to the World Series and not coming away with the hardware. And they just seem motivated to get it done this year. They've been so good all year long, and they've been really good in this postseason. So there's nothing that tells me that the Dodgers can be knocked off their pedestal as of yet.
Yeah, you're just a hater.
If I were a hater, I would not like picking the Dodgers. Hey, Ajay, we need to do this. We've got to call a timeout on the baseball discussion and do a call-out for the bread and butter play of the game from the Skyview at Bear River football game on Friday night, which you heard here on 106.9 The Fan, as Hurricane John Newbold and Rex Davis called the game over in Garland Friday night. If you recall listening to the game, they called it out, and then they talked about it again at the end of the game. The bread and butter play of the game. If you know what it was, call us right now, 435-752-1069. Again, that's 435-752-1069. And if you get it right, we'll get you 4 loaves of bread from the Old Grist Mill. So we'll do that, and when we come back on the other side, we'll also hear from Bodie Reeder, the offensive coordinator for Utah State, how the offense is going so far for the Aggies. Stay tuned. That's coming up next on the Full Court Press.
Look at Penny. She looks amazing. What's she done?
Plastic surgery? Look at her smile.
Why is she smiling like that? It doesn't look normal.
What's her secret?
There's nothing wrong with Penny. Her husband went to Castellite. He built a beautiful new outdoor patio with pavers, wall block, and a cozy little fire pit. He chose from a huge selection of pavers and got expert help for a do-it-yourselfer. For all your brick, block, rock, paver, and tile needs, go where the pros go. Castellite.com.
Great Basin Graphics, like many other companies, are still making it possible for you to utilize their services while still taking the necessary precautions. Please visit greatbasingraphics.com or call 753-0295. Great Basin Graphics is happy to work with you via phone or email throughout the entire process, including the initial quote, art and design, and order approval. Curbside pickup, free delivery within 50 miles, or direct ship for additional cost are available. Great Basin Graphics loves working with you and wants to help move things forward during a difficult time. greatbasingraphics.com or call 753-0295.
The best mornings begin with, not that. Okay, that's better. I was going to say the best mornings begin with a magnificent breakfast, like 2 sausage McMuffin with egg sandwiches for $4. And to drink, get any size premium roast coffee or soft drink, like an icy Dr. Pepper for just $1 more. In other words, the best mornings begin at McDonald's. Prices and participation may vary. Single item at regular price cannot be combined with combo meal.
We all believe our team is the best. Whether you're a Bobcat, a Wolf, a Grizzly, a Mustang, or a Riverhawk, we can all agree on one thing. Les Olson Company is the best choice for your office technology needs. So if you need to copy it, print it, scan it, or network it, Les Olson Company is there for all of your office technology needs. Just Les Olson it. Visit lesolsonit.com today.
Les Olson Company.
Old McDarrell has a farm, an appliance farm.
This is Jay from Darrell's Appliance. Why buy from Darrell's? It's easy. You get a full 2-year warranty on all scratch and dent appliances. Apply for interest-free financing, plus you always get Darrell's outstanding service with every appliance. Darrell's West on Airport Road, open until 6 p.m. on weekdays, 5 on Saturday.
See Darrell's Appliance in beautiful downtown Benson.
It doesn't matter who you root for. The Full Court Press has all the high school sports covered. The Full Court Press. Connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, and online at 1069thefan.com.
Utah State Fall Camp has been underway now for a couple of weeks, and certainly a lot of questions about what this 2020 season is going to look like for these Aggies after a lot of uncertainty in the offseason. But now we get a chance to find out a little bit more about the offense for this team this year. Bodie Reeder is the offensive coordinator for the Aggies. Coach, thanks for spending some time with us today.
Thank you for having me.
First of all, I mean, you were hired to come to Utah State. You were excited to join the Aggies, excited to get things going in spring football, and then boom, all of this hits, and now all of a sudden you're forced with trying to make a lot of really important decisions about depth and development in a very short amount of time now that we're in the fall. How has that been going so far on your end?
Oh, it's been good. No one feels sorry for us. That's the unique thing about this year is everyone has had the same hurdles to get over. So we just had to adjust on the fly. Obviously, you want a spring ball and some summertime to work with guys and allow them to get comfortable with the changes that we've made on offense, but didn't have it. So we, like you said, just you got to speed up the process. And the time that we have had together, I thought it's been really, really good. The quarterbacks have been creating those, relationships with the wide receivers, and because the pass game is a lot of timing and specifics and feel and relationships between those two groups. So just trying to get those guys caught up, and then with the run game, Coach Woods has done a tremendous job with the offensive line, getting them ready to play, and then Coach Schramm with the backs. You guys are run really well right now. So just you had to adjust and adapt and make the best of it.
So let's talk about that passing game. Let's start with the quarterback position. Jason Shelley coming from Utah. How is he fitting in so far with the rest of the team? And then I know Peasley is also in the mix. Coach Anderson has praised his work ethic and that he's been certainly part of the mix as to who that starter could be on day one.
Yeah. Well, first of all, Jason has done a great job of coming in, and number one, he's been great in the locker room. And that's always your concern when you bring a transfer in, is how's he going to fit in, how's he going to gel. Well, that transition has been really, really good, and his relationship with wide receivers and tight ends has really blossomed here in the last couple of weeks, and he's taken on more of a leadership role. He's not a vocal guy by nature, but he understands the importance of being a leader, and especially at that position. And then Andrew Peasley, he just gets better every day. He just needs to play more football. He had the injury last year that didn't allow him to practice, and he's just a young guy, and he needs to just play more football and get more and more comfortable. But he's really playing good ball, and it's a good competition right now.
Is Jason Shelley going to be the starter? Is he the designated starter at this point, or is that still to be determined?
We'll probably make that decision here very, very quickly, but they're both getting run with the ones. He's getting probably more share of the ones right now, but we'll make that decision probably next day or two. But we really have two pretty good options.
And then who they're throwing it to. There's a lot of wide receivers coming back, but there wasn't a lot of size and position type receivers that were back with a lot of experience. So what does that wide receiver core look like, and how that's developing right now for USU?
Well, to fix the problem with the size and getting some more length and on the outside, we added Justin McGriff, the transfer player from the ASA Miami Junior College. He's 6'6", 220 pounds, so he's provides that what I think COC had for the offense last year, but he gives us a little bit more length. And then Derek Wright's done a nice job playing on the outside as well. He's a bigger body, but you got guys that can really run now, and that's our strength. Is you got Devin Tompkins and Savon Scarver, guys that can really get down the field, and they play well in space. And guys like Jordan Nathan, he really understands the offense, understands space and timing. So there's a good crew out there, and then you add those tight ends in, an experienced player like Carson Terrell, and he's a tremendous receiving tight end and does a nice job in the passing game. And then I think that people will be happy to see what those other tight ends do. Mo Manu and Bryce Mortensen, they're both capable in the passing game as well.
Now, Gary Anderson made it pretty clear in the offseason, and when he brought you on board, he was concerned about the pace of the offense, how it was going so fast last year, and if a series didn't work out, his defense didn't get a breather. And we know he's a defensive-minded guy. He wants to make sure his defense has enough fuel in the tank to go out and do their best. So, and he's made several comments since then about changing the style of offense a little bit to be more ball control, clock control. How is that so far coming along, do you think, for Utah State?
Oh, it's good. I mean, the ultimate goal is to play complementary football. All three phases helping each other to win the football game. And, I think the offense, we understand that. And we're not going to play slow now. We're still going to have the ability to play fast, and we will play fast, but it won't be all the time. When I talk to the players, how I like to reckon it to or compare it to is I was a high school basketball player, and some guys wrestled, but if you're guarding a basketball player wrestling a guy that goes the same the whole game, whether that's fast or whether that's slow, your body and your mind eventually adjust, so then it's not as shocking. But if you're guarding a guy or wrestling a guy that will change paces on you, in football, it's huddle, then go fast, or, muddle huddle and change that, then I think it affects the defense more. So we're going to be more of a change of pace offense, but we can play complementary football as well. At the same time, we can go fast.
And you feel like you've got the personnel to execute that properly.
Oh yeah, yep.
Another part of that question too is the running situation. Devontae Henry Cole is another transfer from Utah that's come in. Jalen Warren, a back that was doing nice things a year ago, continues to improve. What does that running back situation look like? How are those guys developing?
Well, those two top guys are really playing good football right now. Jalen had a tremendous scrimmage last week, and we call him DHC. He had a really nice day on Friday as well. They're running really, really hard behind their pads. They're understanding their keys and where to take the football, but they're being pushed at the same time too. We have 5 guys who we feel like can carry the ball in a game, and 2 freshmen, Elion Noah and John Gentry, 2 guys that are new to the program are really, really running the ball well and understanding. It's just with them, it's just making sure that ball security is there, and then in your protection in your pass game. That's where those freshmen, no matter where they are, what program it is, where they got the biggest learning curve is. And then we have Lake Makakona, who has done a really good job too running the football and is a physical presence. So we feel like we have depth at that spot, which you're going to need in a year like this. Obviously with the virus and just plain old football injuries, you need depth at tailback, and we feel like we have it.
Do you plan on using the running backs in the passing game much?
Yep. They'll for sure be a great resource for the quarterback.
And then I guess the last part of the offense to discuss is that offensive line. Do you feel settled with positions, or guys still maybe being tweaked a little bit about where they'll line up? And there seems to be a lot of experience coming back for this offensive unit.
That's a positive. Is those guys up front have played a lot of football, and they're coached extremely well by TJ Woods. I think for the most part we have it pretty dialed in as what we're going to do in regards to the 5 starters, but there's enough depth where those guys are getting pushed, and we can have some position flexibility that some tackles can play guard, some guards can bump outside. We got a couple different guys that can snap it. So their biggest strength right now is their versatility and their depth.
What do you want to see in the next scrimmage that you guys have in these offense against defense? The strength against strength. What are you looking forward to in your next scrimmage that you're going to have at Utah State?
Well, last scrimmage last Friday, we ran the ball extremely well. What was lacking was some consistency in the passing game, and what I would like to see our offense do is to get more consistent throwing the rock. There's days where we light it up okay, and then there's other days we feel like we set football back by just connecting the dots. And part of that is without a spring or a summer, these guys haven't played a lot of catch. They haven't thrown the ball a whole lot with each other, and especially when you bring in a brand new quarterback. Well, really both of them, because Peasley didn't play last year. With those 2 guys and just comfort level and creating that bond with those wide receivers, and just connecting the dots. So I would encourage our guys, and I will continue to just be more efficient and more consistent in the passing game.
And I guess the last question for me is, you see that defense on a regular basis when you're going against them. How does that the other side look? I know you're paying close attention to how your guys are executing, but what is that defense looking like as they're trying to compete against you as well?
I think Coach Collins and Coach Miley are doing a great job. The benefit of going against a defense like ours is you see multiple things. So you're not just practicing the same thing every day. They'll give you some front variations and odd and even front. They'll play some zone and play some man and different pressures. So it's really good for our offensive players because you have to be on your toes because they have the ability to do several things on defense. But I think that their guys are playing really, really hard. They search the football out, and I think that it's been really, really a blessing for our offense to get a chance to go against the defense every day.
Well, Coach, we're excited to see how this continues to develop. We look forward to the day where we can go see what's going on with USU football. That's quickly approaching as the Aggies have their first game on the road at Boise State later this month. So thanks for your time, and best of luck through the rest of camp.
All right, thank you.
So there's Bodie Reeder, the offensive coordinator for Utah State University. Game 1 for the Aggies, October 24th. And Ajay, for you, hearing that interview for the first time, what are some of the takeaways that you got from what Bodie Reeder had to say about this Utah State offense?
Well, how deep our backfield is. You're looking at running back, you think DHC and Jalen Warren, and that's it. And he comes out and says, well, we got 5 other backs out there pushing these 2 guys alone. That makes you excited because the depth back there could be really, really good and yet really, really big. The other thing is, we were hearing about maybe a slower offense, right? We're going to pound it on the ground. We're going to be physical on the ground. We're going to establish on the ground. And Coach Reeder comes out and says, look, we're still going to play fast, just not as, as much as we did last year. We're going to put our defense in crappy situations. And against, like, for example, Air Force last year was a mess. LSU was a mess. And so, play no huddle at different times, maybe unpredictable times, if you will. But establishing a run game. Those are the 2 things that really stood out to me.
Yeah, similarly, I was impressed to hear what he had to say about the running game, about developing depth at the tailback position, that there's some new guys that are pushing the proverbial, who we guess would be as the starters. And I also found it interesting what he had to say about the wide receiver position. And the addition of McGriff provides that possession receiver that the Aggies are kind of missing a little bit this year, what we thought they were missing. Wright kind of has that ability as well. But the experience that's back, the real strength of the wide receiver core is in the speed and understanding where the holes are and getting to those holes. And so that's exciting to see how that's developing in that wide receiver core.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, this group is going to be pretty interesting to say the least. I know we got great guys like Savon Scarver, Devin Tompkins, Jordan Nathan's going to be a huge part of that receiving group, right? It's just going to be, who's going to be that one guy, 3rd and long, 3rd and medium, got to have it. I'm going to go to this guy. I'm looking at this guy as my number 1 target. If he's doubled, then I got to go somewhere else. But, man, this guy's going to make a play for me tonight. And who's that guy going to be? Last year it was CLC Mariner. The year before that it was, who was it, man? Jalen Green, or was it Ron Creighton Tarver?
Yep.
Or was it Dax Raymond? And so now they need a guy like that this year.
Yeah, and then also I'm encouraged to hear about that offensive line, too, that there's depth. There's experience. That's going to be really helpful when, whether it's going to be Jason Shelley or Andrew Peasley, they're going to need an offensive front that's experienced and knows what they're doing to give them a little bit extra time to make sure they understand what's going on. So that's encouraging to hear, that offensive line. I know there was some controversy with the offensive line in the offseason. That's been removed from the equation. So hopefully that continues to work well and that team comes together. I liked what he had to say about Jason Shelley's been really good building some relationships. Not a real vocal guy, but those relationships between he and the wide receivers and the offensive line, as he said, has really blossomed. So those are all really encouraging things to hear about Utah State.
Yeah, I'm excited about this offense. There's going to be some questions, absolutely, as there should be. But I'm excited about the offense. 9315 did text in asking, hey, is Bodie Reeder beat BYU yet? Or no, assume not BYU, Boise State. Well, 9315, not a lot of teams have beat Boise State, so it's probably not the best measuring stick to go by.
I have to look back on Bodie Reeder's profile to see where he's been along the way. I don't know that he's had many games against Boise State.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just trying to think of what stops along the way where he would have had a game against Boise State. I
don't know if he had one. Yeah, I'll have to go back and look. I don't know if he's had one.
So anyway, if you miss it, you want to hear it again, we'll have that posted on 1069thefan.com in our podcast feed, our conversation with Bodie Reeder and Utah State offense. All right, coming up next here in the Full Court Press, we need to get into some really big games in the NFL last night. And throughout the day, we've touched on a few of those games, but also the NBA championship was won. The NBA season is now finally over, and we'll discuss that championship game with the Lakers winning it all last night. Coming up next here on the Full Court Press.
Welcome to Firehouse. Firehouse Pizzeria, now open for dine-in and curbside pickup. Firehouse Pizzeria is Cache Valley's best pizza and dessert. Enjoy that famous stone-fired pizza, pastas, sandwiches, salads, plus mouth-watering Fazookies. You know, the perfect warm cookie covered in ice cream, a treat everyone loves. Pizzas, pastas, sandwiches, salads, and more. Experience the Stone at Logan's Best Pizza and Pasta. Firehouse Pizzeria.
It's about trust, service, safety, the things that have always been at the center of everything we do. It's why at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, our certified technicians complete over 270 hours of training. It's why we provide quality service that's rated 4.6 out of 5 stars. And it's why you never have to leave the safety of your car. So when it's time for a change, we'll be right here, just like we've always been. Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Service you can see, experts you can trust.
Now open at 695 North Main, Logan.
This is Jarek with Jarek's Fine Jewelry. October is our anniversary month. We've been helping couples find the perfect rings for over a decade. So to celebrate, we want to treat you to an anniversary dinner. Make it a date night on us. Come engagement ring shopping or anniversary shopping at Jarek's Fine Jewelry. We have over 3,000 rings in stock, including the newest custom designs. With no strings attached, no purchase necessary, we will buy your dinner at Sweeto Burrito. The entire month of October, come in ring shopping and Sweeto is on us. Make date night special. Make it Jarek.
Temperatures are beginning to drop, and the old grist mill has all your fall favorites ready to go. Traditional fall favorites that make everyone feel warm all over. Famous one-of-a-kind bread, zucchini, pumpkin chocolate chip, pumpkin spice, muffins for every taste, apple, cranberry, almond, blueberry, and more. The perfect lunch with the bread you love, delicious meat, veggies to your liking, a fresh-baked cookie, chips, and a drink. The old grist mill has something for the entire family. Old Grist Mill, now in South Logan, Logan, and Smithville. The old grist mill, here for you.
Hi, this is Chad Mangum with White Pine Funeral Services. For over 20 years, I've been serving this community of Cache Valley as a registered nurse and business owner of home health, hospice, assisted living, skilled nursing, and other healthcare lines. Most recently, my partners and I have acquired the beautiful new funeral home 1 block south of the Riverwoods Conference Center. White Pine Funeral Services is excited to serve your needs for pre-planning, cremation, and burials. Visit whitepinefunerals.com or call us at 435-709-6800. White Pine Funeral Services, only the best.
Northern Utah and Southern Idaho's home for sports. It's the Full Court Press on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM. The Fan.
Let's see if the Vikings blitz again. They've got 4 down linemen. They're going to rush 4. Russell, look out. He's going to fire inside. Reaching up, making a catch. Does he hang on? He does. It's a touchdown. It's a touchdown, Seahawks, and it's Metcalf who reaches up and makes the catch. Crossing the field, making the catch in the middle of the end zone. And Russell finds him and throws a dart.
Welcome back to the Full Court Press. What a dramatic finish for the Seahawks last night over the Vikings. Controversy before that final drive. The Minnesota Vikings with the ball in field goal range, easy field goal range, 4th and inches, and they decide to go for it. Bobby Wagner played a key role in that 4th down stop. Ajay, hindsight's always 20/20, but in the moment, would you have gone for it like the Vikings did?
No, it's situational football. Don't outdumb yourself. Like, if you were through field goal range, just kick the field goal and be happy with the points. No need. I mean, there is no excuse to go for it there. Absolutely none. Even Bill Belichick, who's one of the most gambling coaches in the NFL when it comes to 4th and short or 4th and mediums, whether it's on the plus or minus side of the field, even in that situation, he's not even thinking about it. He's kicking a field goal.
See, for me, in the moment, I thought that was a great call.
Why?
If you get it, I mean, look, Minnesota had control. They were dominating time of possession. Their defense was keeping Seattle at bay. They had some plays that they gave up, and they had kind of a furious rally there, but then they adjusted, and then Minnesota had gained back control. And I thought that Minnesota had control of the game. You convert on that, you get into the end zone, and you put it to bed. You don't have any option for them. Granted, obviously didn't happen that way. If you kick the field goal, the least you can do is still be even at in overtime. That was probably the better play. But analytics, looking at the decision to call that play under 2 minutes to go, that far down on the field, your defense has been playing well against Seattle. I thought that was a good call, a good play call. And Madison had been playing great as a running back. They hadn't accounted for him. He'd had a great night all night. All you need is a few inches, about a yard, but they weren't able to get it. So in the moment, I thought it was a great call. It was a gutsy call, but I liked it.
No, I think it's just chasing points. And don't chase. If you don't need to, don't chase. Kick the field goal, be happy with what you get. Allow your defense to try to get you a stop. Obviously, that didn't happen. But just, I don't get that, man. I just don't understand. Take the field goal and be happy with what you get.
Well, it was a dramatic finish, as you heard there, DJ Metcalf with the catch in the end zone with just about, 15 seconds to go on a fourth down, no less. So another dramatic comeback, final game-winning drive by Russell Wilson. So the Seahawks, the first team to 5-0 in the NFL. Bills have a chance to get there on Tuesday if they can defeat the Titans. But the Cowboys, despite that horrific injury, that bad injury to Dak, still able to come in and do enough to secure the victory over the Giants in a close one, 37-34. We did hear that the pick six by Kyler Fackrell for the Giants. That was exciting for them. But in the end, the Cowboys get the victory, and they win in a close one. Another game that maybe
But hey, really quickly,
yeah.
Sorry, if I may, Dak Prescott being out for the year is going to hurt him. I know Andy Dalton now gets his chance, but Dak Prescott with that gruesome injury, Andy Dalton now steps in. It's just a different looking offense. I don't know if it helps. I think there's a reason why Andy Dalton wasn't very successful in Cincinnati. We'll find out if it was really Andy Dalton or if it was Marvin Lewis in Cincinnati. But me thinks that without Dak Prescott, this offense is going to hurt a lot.
One game that the score wasn't really dramatic and it wasn't like a close down-to-the-wire finish, but it had some drama in it nonetheless, and that was the Rams and Washington. And what was fascinating about that game was Alex Smith taking the field after that, talk about horrific injuries and all the surgeries he had on his leg, to see him come back out on the field and play football. That was special. And after the game, Alex Smith talked about the standing ovation that he received coming back onto the field.
I did get to see my family. It was nice, obviously working out in the sense that they let family in for this game. Appreciated them being there. I know my wife felt better about things being here. Certainly, obviously, very cool to have my kids out there. And so, fun. I mean, in that sense, that was obviously great. But like I said, it's you're out there to play a game and go play well. And certainly there it was tough for most of the second half getting anything going.
So, yes, not a big standing ovation as if, we see normally circumstances with a lot of fans in the stands, but it would have been a standing O if that place was full. A lot of people cheering on Alex Smith, even though he didn't come away with the win.
Yeah, he's your comeback player of the year. I don't care what else happens. I don't think it's even close.
He kind of struggled a little bit. He was 9 of 17, 37 yards. Not a lot of offense for Washington. The game belonged to the Rams and how well they did offensively and defensively. But still good to see Alex Smith back out of there in a uniform, slinging the ball around.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. And again, like you said, not a lot of offense, but it's the guy's first game back. He's just been active. It's just the experience of him being out in the field, the visual of him being out in the field, and watching him complete a pass. It's something pretty cool.
Another week goes by where a totally defeated team has not been able to find a victory, and they still struggle. And so finally the management makes their decision to change course. The Atlanta Falcons part ways with their head coach after losing to the lowly Panthers 23-16. Overdue or premature?
Overdue. I mean, you can't blow this many leads consistently. They haven't been the same team since that 28-3 debacle, right, in the Super Bowl. They just haven't been there mentally, emotionally. Dan Quinn's lost a little bit of his prestige on his resume, and they've had some really bad losses, to be honest with you, even with blown leads. And this should have happened a while back, and that's a very sexy job offer, by the way, for anybody who gets offered it. They have a talented roster, much more talented than the record says. They're too talented to be this bad. And I just think that, when they start looking for a coach, I know the defensive coordinator right now is taking over things, but when they look for a head coach, there's going to be some pretty big names in the bowl trying to get into Atlanta. That's a good-looking job.
I shouldn't bag on the Panthers. They're really not that bad. But still, they beat the Falcons 43-16, and Coach Quinn is out. Texans, they made a change with their coaching staff, and they picked up a win, 30-14 over the Jaguars. So, Deshaun Watson.
The Jaguars suck, though, dude.
Deshaun Watson throws for almost 360 yards and 3 touchdowns. They had a field day. But yes, the Jaguars
see what happens when you actually let Deshaun Watson play football? It's pretty cool.
Perhaps one of the more surprising games for me were to see the Dolphins beat the 49ers the way they did.
Yeah, Jimmy Garoppolo was really, really, really bad, and so much that he got pulled at halftime. That's a situation they're going to need to monitor of what to do there. You know, it's and I was one of them, Eric. As a Patriots fan, I was one of them. Why did we trade Jimmy Garoppolo? I thought he was going to fit great in the system. I thought Coach Belichick had a pretty good grasp on how to run an offense with Jimmy as the lead of the offense. And then, you know, we give up a second-round pick for him, and now he's getting benched at halftime with the San Francisco 49ers just one season after he helps lead the team to a Super Bowl appearance. Yeah, that's a mess right now. I'm not sure what they're going to do with Jimmy, if he even sees the field the rest of the year, to be very honest with you.
Tonight, it's on Monday Night Football. It's the Chargers at the Saints, and we know Herbert's been named as the permanent starter, and he's doing okay. I mean, it's not like they're winning a lot of games necessarily with him, but they've been competitive. Saints, probably one of the more disappointing teams so far of the young season. They're just 2-2. They are favored by 7 in this one. They should win, but Drew Brees and that Saints team kind of struggling a little bit to really be as dominant as we thought they were going to be coming into the year.
Yeah, you know, and I'd like to see them get the ball into Taysom Hill's hands more. I feel like Taysom Hill is the play creator for this team. He's the engine that gets them going. And if you want to, you know, if you want to put points on the board, if you want to get some juice in your offense, if you want to get some energy in your team, let Taysom Hill touch the ball more. And if you do that, you will come away with a better record, and you won't be disappointing. 2-2 is not horribly disappointing, but it's on, you know, in Seattle's terms with the roster they got, it's not great. And so, again, Taysom Hill leading this offense, leading this team is going to get them wins and make them an NFC contender.
Okay, and then we had a rare Tuesday night game in the NFL. Tuesday at 5 o'clock on CBS, the Bills and the Titans. I think this could be really an interesting game. They'll own the night for football, certainly. They'll have some baseball to contend with for viewership, but these are 2 undefeated teams squaring off against each other, and I think this could be a really interesting showdown. Josh Allen has an opportunity to get Buffalo to 5-0. Currently, Buffalo is favored by 3.5 going into this one.
Yeah, this is kind of a key signature game for Josh Allen, really. You know, this is a hefty defense led by Mike Vrabel. Mike's a very defensive-oriented coach. Played defense for the New England Patriots underneath Bill Belichick. And again, this defense for the Titans is really aggressive. They have an athletic defensive backfield. So this will be, I think, Allen's toughest test of the season to date, and it'll be interesting to see how he handles it. So, and by the way, we had a postponement of a game. Patriots-Broncos get moved to next week. Broncos are upset because they practiced for a full week only to have the game canceled. Now it shifts bye weeks all the way around. In fact, Denver loses their bye week. It shifts other games around. Eric, I don't know if we can just keep doing this. I don't know how much longer we can keep doing this of just moving games left and right.
Well, it's a challenge, and they may just have to cancel games instead of trying to make them up.
Yeah, I would agree.
All right, we're going to do this. We're going to call a timeout here in the Full Court Press. When we come back, wrapping up the NBA season. It finally came to a conclusion last night in the bubble, and for winning the NBA championship, the team gets to leave Disney World. Usually you go to Disney World for winning something, but they actually get to go home now. And we'll discuss the NBA championship and the Lakers winning their 17th trophy, LeBron James winning his 4th NBA Finals MVP. We'll discuss that next in the Full Court Press.
Hi, my name is Josh Watts, and for 3 generations, Preston Watts Collision and Glass has taken care of all your collision and auto glass needs. Windshield replacement is just one of our specialties. We have certified technicians and the most competitive prices in the valley. We will waive up to $100 off your insurance deductible, give you free rock chip repairs, and to top it off, we will wash your vehicle inside and out with your windshield replacement. Give us a call at 563-3215. At Preston Watts, we do it right.
The best mornings begin with, not that. Okay, that's better. I was going to say the best mornings begin with a magnificent breakfast, like 2 sausage McMuffin with egg sandwiches for $4. And to drink, get any size premium roast coffee or soft drink, like an icy Dr. Pepper for just $1 more. In other words, the best mornings begin at McDonald's. Prices and participation may vary. Single item at regular price cannot be combined with combo meal.
New Horizons Beauty College loves having USU students in town. In fact, they offer 15% student discounts Tuesday through Thursday. They also offer senior and military discounts. The students at New Horizons Beauty College are trained in all the latest trends and techniques. Plus, New Horizons has great prices on the products to help you maintain that new look. All services performed by students and closely supervised by licensed instructors. New Horizons Beauty College, 550 North Main in Logan.
The Full Court Press. Connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, and online at 1069thefan.com.
Last couple of minutes with you here on the Full Court Press. Eric Frandsen, Ajay Salvesen, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM, The Fan. Also streaming online, 1069thefan.com. That's where you can find our past episodes and also our interview that we had with Bodie Reeder, offensive coordinator for Utah State, if you missed it earlier this hour. Last night, the Lakers win their 17th NBA championship. LeBron James earning his 4th NBA championship and his 4th NBA Finals MVP at the age of 35. This one last night, by and large, because of the Laker defense really clamping down. That second quarter was tremendous for the Lakers defensively and got things going offensively, put things away. Give a lot of credit to Miami for making this a series, and Jimmy Butler, heart of a warrior, but LeBron James just too much, and Anthony Davis certainly right there with him. Ajay, the debate now, is it too early to start discussing did LeBron leapfrog MJ if he wasn't already there as the greatest of all time?
Man, that's a great question. I wanted to ask you, where do you stand on LeBron? You've heard me voice my opinion. Where do you stand on LeBron and MJ? What's your stance?
You can't deny that this guy has been to 10 or 9 NBA Finals now.
I think it's 10 now, isn't it?
It's incredible.
4 and 6.
Yeah, that's true. 4 and 6. How many different teams that he's taken there? How many times he's been to the finals? He's won it 4 times. Granted, MJ won it more times. MJ never had a Game 6 in an NBA Finals. But
I feel like you're sitting on the fence. Take a side.
But I think that what LeBron has done, it just puts him a little bit ahead of MJ. I don't think it's a clear cut. But I think that it's like a dramatic difference. But I think that it does put LeBron ahead of MJ now. So many different teams, different eras, different people he's had to play with, but also different players he's had to play against to get there.
Yeah, but listen, my man Piranhas, I love Piranhas. He always trips in on this conversation. He brings up the good deets. Look, Michael Jordan went 6-0 and won 6 Finals MVPs. He beat Magic Johnson and James Worthy in one, Clyde Drexler, Charles Barkley in the Suns, Gary Payton in the Sonics, and then, dude, he took a break and then won 3 in a row again. He took a break, played baseball, came back, and then won again. That's unreal.
It is unreal. It's a tall mountain to climb. But look what LeBron has done. He's had to go up against some Hall of Famers, first-team guys, All-NBA guys. His list is long as well with players he's had to take down on his trip to get to that many finals and to win that many finals. And at his age, he's still playing elite basketball.
Okay, look, that's great, but again, he is playing elite basketball, and I do agree that, I mean, he's taking guys like JaVale McGee, Matthew Dellavedova, Mike Miller, all to win championships, right? But the thing
Smith,
is, though,
multiple times
but
now.
J.R. Smith, who was drunk last night, who's been on weed before. But as Piranhas tells us, MJ never had to cry and beg for his respect like LeBron did last night in his post-game interview. What a joke. Like, you got respect, man. What are you talking about?
Well, when you're the best, people want to knock you and take you down.
So they did it to Michael, and he handled it well. Be a man.
Michael should have never left the game like he did. If that's the real question with Michael Jordan. If he would have stuck around, could he have won more titles? Would it have tarnished his legacy a little bit? But
dude, his
he
dad
backed away.
died.
He couldn't.
His dad
he
died.
couldn't stay with it.
He couldn't stay with it. His dad died. Do you know what he batted in minor league? Oh, dude, how long do we got left here?
5 seconds. We got to go.
Yeah, you better hope it's 5 seconds. Because I'm telling you right now, if I had 5 more seconds of you.
Good night, everybody.